guys, Kelly here. I wanted to do a quick kind of tutorial on how I clean out the pig cage every day, just so you can kind of see what's involved in it. And as you can see behind me, there's our piggy castle that Dan and I built. It's still under construction, which in quarantine we really have no excuse to finish it, but we still haven't. So, but it's functional. It's just needing the finishing touches to make it look more like a castle. But everything that needs to work works. As you can see, also behind me, I've already taken out Miss Bichon. When I'm cleaning, I let her kind of have run of the living room, although she really just prefers to sit down in her little bed. Oh, and there is Ripley. So anyway, without further ado, I am going to see if I can get to work. Let me see if I can move this back a little, give you a little bit more of a view. And hopefully you won't have any odd angles of me. I'm in sweats, cleaning, doing stuff. Of course I still do my makeup because, that's just something I do. All right, but anyway, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is just give Bichon her igloo because she really loves her igloo. So hi, sweetheart. There you go. And you may see her running around. She usually does come out and explore a little bit sometimes, but like I said, usually she's just content to kind of have a seat and hang out. So cleaning out is not too hard at all. We do have the liners in the cage from Guinea Dad. I love those liners. Very easy to clean, easy maintenance. So I'm going to show you, basically it's just dustpan and broom. Special one we got for like $1, I think, at the dollar store. We use it just for the guinea pigs, just for this reason. So first I'm going to start by just kind of taking out her dishes. Water bottle, which I'm going to go fill in just a moment. And then, as you can see, it's just a fleece liner. I like to fold it in half to kind of brush it off. It just works a lot easier. And I usually give these a good washing once or twice a week, depending on how dirty they get. But I do have to brush them off every day, because if I don't, then things get really messy. But it's really easy just to give it a good brush. And there we go, nice and clean. I'll lay this down. So now, unfortunately, because I've got the camera in a stationary position, I can't really show you the inside, but of course it's filled with hay and uneaten food that they've scattered. Pigs can be very messy. And I forgot something, I'll be right back. All right, so it is a corrugated plastic that we have as the bottom of the cage. So I do like to give it a spritz, even though the liner protects it from most stuff. We make our own homemade cleaner. It's just basically 2 parts of distilled vinegar with 1 part of lemon juice. And I found that that works really well. It gets rid of anything that's in there. It's safe for the animals, so we don't have to worry about that. Just really easy and cheap to make. So I'm just going to give the inside a spritz and wipe it all down. All right. Okay, so now here comes the fun part. I've got to be able to get to Eugene's section. Now, look at me, I'm out of breath already. This is great. I don't usually recommend, according to like experts and stuff, to have any pigs alone. They are an animal that does prefer to be in a herding situation. That being said, both of the pigs that we have right now are separated from each other. We have an unneutered male, unneutered female, and Bichon does have a chronic condition that could potentially be contagious, so we do need to keep her apart from other pigs. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get any more females to kind of be with her. But she does seem pretty content. She has everything she needs. We do spend a lot of time with her. It doesn't make up for the fact that there's no other pigs in there, but unfortunately it's the way it has to be for now. And Eugene, who's going to be 3 years old this Friday, actually, I'm not too keen on the idea. We didn't get him neutered when he had come to us. He was a rescue pig that came to us, and we didn't have him neutered at the time. We had 2 senior boars, and they all got along very well together, so we were able to put them all, the 3 of them, together. But now with Eugene not being neutered, I can't introduce any females with him because obviously I do not want to breed. And the other thing is bringing in any other boars that we could potentially adopt that aren't neutered it could be difficult to introduce them where we have a female who's unneutered in the same vicinity. So it could potentially cause the boars to kind of fight, and not when they sense the female, it just wouldn't be a good situation. So for now, Eugene as well is by himself, but he is also doing well. So for now, it's the situation that we have. It's not ideal. Like I said, I do think it's better to have them in at least in pairs, a herd if you can, but it's just the situation that we have now. So anyway, let me replace the blanket. Hi, Eugene. And Eugene is awake. So let me see here. All right. Okay, so got this. I do have to take this off, and this is the situation so you can kind of see what it's like for Miss Bichon in here. So to clean out Eugene's is a little bit of a tricky part here. So we're going to take the towers off, and I just use these towers to kind of store things in. We have extra treats, brushes, nail clippers, things like that. So the first part, now this, when we built the castle originally, we did plan on having it so that the pigs could go up to the second level as well as the bottom. But of course, with needing to have the 2 pigs separate, there's our Maya, she's a 12-year-old pug and corgi mix, so she's our sweetheart. But with having to have them separate, we didn't complete access to the top level, but in the future, depending on the situation that we have for the herd, I'd like to adopt more eventually. So we do have the potential that they can get up to the top if we fix things. So we do have this little ramp section which would lead to that second level. Underneath it, there's a little hammock for Mr. Eugene, which he absolutely loves to sleep in. And then we have the top part. Oops. have to take off and place separately. All right, so now this is actually 2 feet by 6 feet in size, so it actually has 3 liners in it to fully line the bottom. So, and Eugene is hiding in a pocket. I don't know if you can see him from where you are, but that is one of his favorite things to do, is sleeping in the pockets. So let's pick up, he's got a few toys. All right. Hi, sweetheart. All right, so it's basically same thing. Just folding the liners in half, giving them a good brushing just to remove any debris or hair from the day before. And like I said, I change these out once or twice a week and give them a good washing. They can go into a regular machine wash on a heavy load. When you wash them for the first time after getting them, they can end up absorbing a lot of the water, so they sometimes need to go through a spin cycle a couple of times just to kind of drain out. And I do put them in the dryer on a light load, no heat, and then we'll hang them to dry the rest of the way for a couple of days before we put them in the cage. So, but we have a backup supply of these liners. I'm not sure how many I've got now. But we've got quite a few, so I don't have to worry about waiting for them to dry. There's always a few spare blankets, or liners rather, that we have available, so. All right, here we go. And these are pretty clean. I actually just changed them out the other day, so brushing is all I really need to do today. So. And where this is so big, I do need to kind of use a broom. Eugene doesn't mind at all. He hates the vacuum. I did try using that once or twice, and he just can't stand it. Bichon doesn't seem to mind either way. She's kind of content no matter what. Nothing phases her. But Eugene hates the vacuum, so we don't use it. At least not around him. So. Right. He's hiding in the last pocket. And Ripley's gotten herself stuck in the cage. It's usually Maya who ends up doing that to herself, but this time around it's Ripley. Hi, sweetheart. Alright, so I'm just gonna give a little spritz to a few areas here. Especially up on the walls, around the water bottle. That area tends to get sprayed quite often, so I like to make sure to get that done. The rest of it really, it doesn't need to be spritzed all the way. The liners are incredibly protective to the bottom of the cage, so it's not really something that I have to worry about. I give it a good spritz down once a week just because, but other than that, just concentrating around the water bottles is usually good enough. So now I actually have to get in because otherwise than that I can't put the blanket down appropriately. So there we go. Hi, sweetheart. All right, and second blanket. And there he goes back in his favorite pocket. All right. to do. What did I do with the dustpan? I would lose my head if it weren't attached, I'm just telling you. I kind of think that might be sort of genetic. Not sure. Alright, let's see. Alright, little man. I had to do this last blanket. Watch out. Good boy. Alright. And I apologize that I'm so out of breath. I actually went on the treadmill before this, and I really shouldn't have done that because that kind of set me up for failure for the video, but that's okay. Live and learn. Alrighty. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. What you doing? Hi, pumpkin. Alright. And of course he's got to get right all up in everything and check out what's going on, so make it difficult for me to put this down. Come here. You want to say hello? So since I've got him, oh, and see, he's pulling on my shirt. This is my Mr. Eugene. Again, he's going to be 3 years old this Friday, and he is a very good boy. We actually got him from a rescue situation. If you check out the last video, I actually wrote a little bit about his situation as a description to the video, so you can check out how we ended up including him to our family. But he is a very good boy. All right, come on, sweetheart. There we go. Okay. There we go, pumpkin. All right. And I do have to use a small bit of fluff. Luckily, he doesn't make a mess in that area, so I didn't have to change the fluff today. But it's just regular fluff that you get at the pet shop. I'm not sure the brand that I got this time around. I don't use much of it, but it's just because of the way that the layout is. And the fact that I only want to use 3 blankets. Depending on how I lay them down, sometimes there's a small area that's empty, so I put a little bit of fluff, as well as you saw that tiny blanket that I lay on top of the fluff, and it just fills the whole entire area. Alright, so the next step is going to be to put the cage back in. Alright. And I have to be very careful. Again, he likes to get right into everything and check out what's going on, so always a very delicate process to put that back in. Oh, you're happy, huh? Alright, we'll fix his little bed that I have attached here. He's got his little hay wheel, which is still pretty full. We do have a hay wheel for him, as well as a pile. Same thing with Bichon. We have a hay rack, as well as a pile. I don't like laying all the hay out because they do tend to mess in it. They make a big mess. They like to sleep in it. They like to dig in it. So I like to have hay in a rack of some sort off the ground as well. But they really do love to root around in the hay and dig through it. So I do give them a little pile of hay as well to do that in because they just enjoy it so much. So I find the combination between the two, the hay rack and the pile of hay, works out perfectly. It gives them everything they need. His water bottle's full, so I don't really need to change his. So we'll put the ramp back in. with this little hammock. And the hammock too, I change usually about once a week. I have a supply of hammocks. Bichon's not really into, I don't really have a good way to hang at the hammocks for her, poor sweetie, so, but she was not really into it. She loves her igloo, so as long as she has that, she's happy. And she'll go in the pocket sometimes, but again, she's not too keen on that. Eugene just loves the fleece, he loves the pockets, he loves the hammocks, he's a bit spoiled. So, alright, so let's get Bichon's penthouse put back up here. Alrighty, and okay, so now I'm actually going to give them a little bit of hay. We reuse everything, so the old Tidy Cat containers are cleaned out and we use them for storage of hay, food, anything that we need. So this is my hay bin. So again, like I said, I'm gonna just give them a little pile. No, it was more than just a little, but that's okay, she'll enjoy it. Of hay each so that they can scratch around in it and have some fun and make more of a mess for me to clean out tomorrow. Right. Okay, so last thing is to get Miss Bichon up. Are you ready, sweetheart? We'll put your igloo back. Hi, Pumpkin. All right. Come here, sweetie. Hi. How are you? Oh, such a good girl. Such a good girl. Do you want to come say hello too? So this is Miss Bichon. She is, Eugene is a silky. Miss Bichon is a Texel, and she does, like I said, she does have a chronic eye issue. She also did have some problem, hormone, I believe it was cysts on the ovaries. So we ended up giving her, giving her a couple of injections, taking her to the vet and having that done, because she was actually losing all the fur on the side, but she is now growing it back. It's coming in very nicely. Yes, I know. All right, so let's put her back. There you go, sweetheart. And let's see here, we'll get her water bottle. Hang on, I'll be right back. Alrighty, here is your water bottle, Miss Bichon, and now let's see here. Put the food dishes back in. There you go, sweet girl. Alright, and, oh, Eugene. Forgot your other dish here. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Here. All right. Alrighty. So the hay does make an incredible mess. I feel like I could sweep 50 times and in a day and it wouldn't matter. But that's all right. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're going to replace the towers. Oops. Well, if I can, there we go. Alright, and I think that is everything. So we'll just pick up our messes down here. And I'll definitely have to sweep that rug. All right, so I think that's it. So I hope you had fun kind of joining me for cleaning session. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.